Hey guys, I've got a new project in the garage. I'm going to install an air compressor, but I'm not going to do it the normal way. I have a really small bike shop, so looking around, there isn't a whole lot of place to put an air compressor. But I have space upstairs, so I'm going to see what I can do about this and make it interesting.
My bike shop is set up to fill a smaller spot in the garage to make room for all the other things I use the garage space for. Because of that, my approach on this project needs to be innovative. I don't have the space to stow new equipment. I purchased a basic pancake-style compressor and an accessory for coiling the hose. It wasn't very expensive and not very heavy. I don't really have a second floor on my garage, it's just a storage area. But as you can see, it's not very well organized. So the first step is going to be getting up there and managing it so that I'll have room to put the air compressor and so it'll be safe. My hand pump is getting old, and while it still works, the gauge isn't very accurate anymore. The pump head takes too long and is too hard to engage, and the pressure reading is inaccurate.
That says 35. So this gauge doesn't work at all. See that? That's wrong. Well, that's probably right, but that's wrong.
The first step was to organize the space above the garage. As you can see, the area above my garage is not particularly huge, although it probably looks really big on the fisheye lens, but you know, this isn't that far away, I can touch it. I need to move all these boxes into a different location. I need to make sure that the power is going to work, and fortunately I ran power up here when I remodeled the garage a few years ago, and I have a couple of 120 volt outlets that I can run directly from. And that'll prevent me from needing to run a wire down the wall and back to my workbench. So it'll look nicer. And then lastly, I have to make sure that the platforms that the compressor is going to sit on are nice and solid and it's not going to dance around while it's pumping. So we'll see how it goes, but it probably won't take that long to set up. I had to move the boxes and create a space to add the new equipment. Dusting was awful. There was so much crud in the rafters that made me sneeze and cough. Yuck! But it was nice to have that area cleaned up and organized.
All clean. That was a lot of work and it was really dirty up there. But I got it all cleared out. Now I get to test this thing and make sure it works. Not very heavy. Well, I can test the new compressor out because I have to give this wheel a checkup anyway. It's been a long time since I've replaced the fluid and kind of checked the seals. So I'm going to take the tire off and I'm going to give it a little tune-up, and then I'm going to inflate it with my new compressor. Yeah, the rim's actually pretty clean. There's a little bit of latex floating around, but overall it's in pretty good shape, so I'm not going to worry too much about the rim itself. But the tire, on the other hand, is just a cruddy mess. And I'm going to clean this out and replace the fluid in it.
Can I push it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can peel it off. Peel it hard.
Okay. I'm scared it'll
Is it gross?
I'm scared it'll fling back at me.
It won't. I mean, if it does, it won't hurt.
Oh, it's wet.
Yeah, I know.
So they say, you know what they say, if you use the inner trough of that rim and you get your tire bead into it, you should have more than enough slack to put your tire on. Although this one's pretty tight. So this little brass one, the Presta adapter, didn't work. But I have an older aluminum one. Maybe this one will work. They probably both work just fine at gas stations. But let's see if this one works with this. Ooh, that's nice. That was way faster than a pump. Although, I don't know how much pressure is in there, so I have to be real careful. Oh, I've only got 15 pounds in there. 20, 25 pounds. Perfect. Ah. Okay, the cord is everywhere, but I have a solution for that. I picked up this cord spool at the same time as the compressor. It wasn't very expensive, and it really helps with the hose management. It was challenging to install properly, though. This thing is heavy. Oh no, that's supposed to. No, did this get dropped? Got a flat spot on it. That got dropped. Look at that. I mean, it'll still work, but that's not okay. See that? That's a coil for an air hose. I'm gonna hang it up in the rafters so that I can pull this puppy down and I can have a hose available whenever I need it, and then it'll pull back up again. I removed the shelf boards I had in the attic area. They are 3/4 inch finished plywood scrap from an old project, and they're more than strong enough to hold this equipment. I need to pull them out because right now they're getting in the way of my installation. It was important to do this safely. The coil wasn't heavy, but it was awkward. I didn't want to drop this thing. I lined it up and figured out how to position it above the work area. Then I cut some wood for a brace. Okay, I think I figured this out. I'm having a hard time mounting this thing on the diagonal of the roof, the inside of the roof. And so I took this metal bracket, undid these 4 bolts. This used to be facing down here, and I rotated it 90 degrees, so now it's facing this way. So now I can hang the pulleys straight down and mount this to the ceiling. So if I put a piece of plywood at an angle on the ceiling, this thing will just flop straight down. But there's an additional problem, because I don't want this to retract up so high that people can't reach it. So I'm going to remove these pulleys, these rollers, and I'm going to attach them to these ceiling joists right here, or these ceiling studs, I don't know what you call them, so that it'll bring this handle further down, and I'll just be able to reach up and grab it when I need it. It'll be cake. That's so tight. It works perfectly. The fixture hangs low enough to reach while working, and all the heavy equipment is up high and out of the way. After tidying up the work area a bit, I now have the perfect way to clean my workbench and inflate tires.
Look how dusty this is. I can fix that. Gotcha. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you out on the trails.